first week of fall practice is pretty much in the books, Bob, and getting ready to go to full pads. And this team has been on a recruiting heater like none other in the last, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
It's a good time of the year, Bob.
Yeah, it's got me excited, Tim. First we'll talk about a little bit team stuff, what's going on with practice, what we're hearing. And, first of all, guys, remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. All those things helped us out tremendously. They're free to you, and they mean the world to us. We do appreciate y'all. Um, Tim, the biggest news, and we always hate to hear this kind of news, is Jordan Thomas, our probably going to be our starting nickel, safe star position.
Yeah, to start the year out, definitely.
Good player, but man, he's had a lot of injury problems, and we've talked about this several times on our videos. Jordan Thomas he just can't seem to stay healthy. But on the bright side, the guy that we felt like was a future superstar, well, the future may be now.
Yeah, well, Blue Carter's definitely going to step up. I feel horrible for Jordan.
Yeah.
Blew his knee out, going to miss the season.
Yeah.
But Blue Carter, we felt was at some point would probably going to take that spot and maybe move Jordan Thomas over to safety, which would have been a big help because that's probably the weakest spot on our team.
Yeah.
But now they're going to do some shuffling.
Yeah. Blue Carter, like I said, thrilled that looks like he's going to get some early playing time because we do believe he's the guy who not just Tennessee fans are going to know. Before he leaves there, I'm going to go on record and say SEC fans and maybe some NCAA fans are going to be like, that Blue Carter, But we'll see what he can do this year. But I think he's that level of player. I really do. Probably another guy, Tim, who I think is a guy who's a star. Well, there was a clip out him out there, Peyton Lewis. That guy had a little jump cut, or I don't know what you even call it, a jump cut.
He may have flew. I'm not sure.
I mean, he went about 4 yards. It looked like in the air, straight to the sideline. What a play! I mean, hopefully one of these days, Tim, we'll be talking about the greatest running backs to ever play at UT, and we'll say Lewis, and we'll say which one.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I know that's early praise so far, but I think he may be, and some other people, like Austin Price has said, he thought he might be the next great Tennessee running back. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, he has everything you look for. That move right there showed something.
Mm-hmm.
But we already knew he was a speedster. I mean, he ran like a 10.5, 100 meter in high school, 12th fastest time in the country.
Yeah. All athletes, not just
not just football players, obviously track guys.
I think you told me, Tim. Somebody mentioned the fact that he's a track guy, but he's not. He's a football player that runs track, not a track guy playing football.
And it shows on that play.
Yeah.
But he's 210 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a big kid walking through the door as a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not. It doesn't look like a guy that made the move that he made in the clip UT put out.
Right. If he can get the pass protection down, this guy's going to get some early playing time because that's we all know. Even when you mention the word Lewis,
that's another thing people down. Pass protection.
Yeah, we all know about why was not Jamal Lewis playing earlier. It's because pass protection. We had a superstar at quarterback. I don't know if that sounds familiar or not, but superstar at quarterback. Peyton Manning at the time, hopefully a superstar quarterback now, Nico. You got to get these guys, got to know how to pass protect.
Yeah. Although I would argue that when you was as good as Jamal Lewis was, your ability to run also serves as pass protection.
Absolutely.
Because it slows down people teeing off.
It does, yeah.
Let's see, Bob, who else is kind of standing out right now in the first early portions of fall practice?
Chaz Nimrod, Tim. One site was saying that they thought he had passed Squirrel White at the slot wide receiver. Now, I personally don't think that's the case, but it's nice to see that he's making a move.
Well, he's put on about 20 pounds of weight.
That's a lot of weight for a wide receiver.
It's a lot of weight for a wide receiver. And it shows really that, we discussed how him and Webb and Thornton, none of them left uh, in the transfer portal, which was a big possibility that one of them would.
Right.
But they all three believe in themselves. And, I'm hearing good things about all three in fall practice. So it ain't just that they believe in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They put that belief to work, and they did the work.
Right.
And it's paying off dividends for all three of them, but particularly Nimrod.
It's nice to see him emerge because I think if we had a weakness in our wide receiver group, is probably our backup slot guy. I mean, I think we thought Braylon Staley's going to be that guy, and I think he will be an absolute,
I think he's gonna be a stud.
He's made some.
But he's also a true freshman.
Yes, he's made some really nice catches in practice. He just hasn't got that consistency down. But tell you another wide receiver, Tim, I'm pumped about. I talked about seeing him in spring, how much I liked him. But Chris Brazzell, I think he is going to be our other starter beside of Rue McCoy and Score White. The guy, just for a guy who's 6'4", you don't move. I mean, most times you think 6'4" guys, deep threats, downfield kind of guys.
Jump balls, good catch rate.
He does really good with the short stuff. I mean, a lot of times those guys ain't good with that kind of stuff. That's the separation between a guy that's good and very good when you're 6'4", I believe.
Well, to be a young guy still, because he is,
Yeah.
and to be a large guy,
Mm-hmm.
he's got a very good route tree.
Yeah.
He can beat you at all three levels of the defense.
Yeah.
He's been generating some buzz in the first few days of fall practice, I saw.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. Let's see, Bob. Also, let me say Lance Hurd. He was another guy that got injured.
Mm-hmm.
We found out he had a little knee scoping issue or something during the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And was limping pretty bad in some videos that the first day. But since then we've heard that no big deal, and you never know whether to believe that or not. But then yesterday he was taking, he's done more every single day, and yesterday he took part in some one-on-one drills with the defensive linemen that got really physical.
Yeah.
So that tells me if they was concerned about that
At all, if they were really concerned,
he would not have been doing that.
Yeah. So it makes me feel good about that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Defensively, Bob. I know we don't have the pads on yet, so we're not going to hear a whole lot of things. But who have we heard about?
Well, I tell you what, William Ing. If you want to get pumped up about Tennessee, listen to William Ing. I mean, this guy, he's excited.
He likes his linebacker.
He does. I mean, he was talking glowingly, talking about Arion Carter and Edwin Spillman,
who he continually talked about. Really, he talked about him in the spring, even though Arion wasn't even practicing.
I know.
He loves speed, and Carter gives him that. And he
loves Cheetah.
Yeah.
He called him Cheetah a lot.
Yeah, talks about elite speed with him. And with Spillman, he talks about his physicality. Bob, you did something I wish I thought of. You went back and watched some videos from Washington, the Huskies, to see if he just one of these guys that just pump people up or what. And you showed me a couple of videos.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because sometimes these are you had the old back in the day Johnny Majors would sound like he was going to lose every ball game. Oh, we're terrible. We stink, and some coaches do that kind of thing. Some very few pump players up. William Ing sounds like a pumper. Now I went and watched his videos from Washington to see if he was talking about his players there. And they went to a national championship game last year, and he was an upbeat guy.
He's positive. He's upbeat.
Yeah, he's upbeat. I'll give him that. I didn't hear him talking about none of his guys the way he was talking about Carter and Spillman.
That's true. In the videos that you showed me, I would say the same thing.
Yeah.
He's a positive, upbeat guy who's going to accentuate some good qualities, and he's hopeful.
Yeah.
But, I heard no praise that was similar to what he's been given.
Yeah, when you listen to his videos there, and you listen to his videos here, you tell he really likes what he's got in the linebacker room here. You can tell.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do too. So yeah, I'm not down there with them, but I'm excited about both those players as well as T. Lander and some other guys.
Yeah, oh yeah. You know, we're feeling good about the future there, at that spot, and honestly, Tim, all over the place. I mean, uh, you know,
One other player, Bob, I can think of real quick before we move on to recruiting, and it was one of our lowest rated recruits last year,
yeah,
and that's Jesse Perry. He made quite a bit of buzz in spring, and then he works his butt off his summer. He's added 30 pounds of, from what we hear, good weight.
yeah.
He's up to over 300 pounds now, and this was a kid who did pretty much zero pass protection in high school.
Hmm.
He was considered a long-term project, and now he may be working his way into it too deep.
Yeah, we got lucky on him. He was a guy who ran was offensive lineman for a single wing type offense. So that kind of hides you as far as pass protection. And
Yeah, kind of like a foreign language for you.
I know it is. So we got a steal on that one of our lowest rated guys last year. So big get there. Looks like he's going to be a future very good player for us. Now, I mean, how good a player, but
But we'll see. But it looks like a
yeah,
good pickup
good pickup.
as
But
of today.
speaking of superstars, Tim, let's talk about.
Oh, you talking about the players? I thought, leave me out of this.
Right. Yeah, we're not going to talk about your dream you had last night. But let's talk about recruiting, man.
Well,
We've been
for
on
the
a
last,
heater here
you
lately.
ain't kidding. The last 3 weeks or so, we have been on a heater.
Yeah.
But pretty much as good as I can remember.
Right.
Probably started with Travis Smith.
Top 100.
Yeah. Then I think Shady might have been next. Shady Hareworth,
Top 100.
DB.
Yeah. Top 100 player.
Yeah, and then it's on Brain Phillip from Oregon to us.
Top 100 player.
Yeah, nice tight end. Uh, and that's also his position he plays.
Right.
And
Okay.
Christian Gass,
Uh,
a battle between us and Georgia. And I think he was 85 on
yeah.
at least
One
one of the
time.
services.
Yeah.
Um, and then we did pick up a 3-star defensive tackle, Darion Smith.
Right.
Uh,
Good player. I mean,
well, I mean,
their size.
probably a fallback guy because,
Yeah.
but
But it's a need position.
he's a little small right now. Really athletic though, and if he can retain that athleticism as he puts on 35, 40 pounds,
Yeah.
then under Coach Garner, he will be a productive player for UT at some point.
Right. I agree.
But I
And
think the
like you said,
news this weekend though wasn't about this year's class.
I agree, absolutely agree, Tim. Man, I tell you what, I feel great. I mean, we're really early for the 2026 class, super early. And I think we're going to finish with a top sevenish, eight class in this coming year, depending on if we get David Sanders or not. Uh, but and it's a long ways away from on that one, but I feel like we're confident we're going to be a top 10. Next year, Tim, I feel pretty good about being a top 5 class. I mean, you get Faison Brandon, the number one player, the number one quarterback in the country, committed. Huge, I mean, huge kid, man. I mean, we've got this thing rolling, especially at quarterback. Wow.
Yeah, because that's a Pied Piper position, and people gravitate toward that. Your
Mhm.
offensive linemen, your wide receivers, obviously.
Right.
Tight ends. It's expected offensive players are going to gravitate toward that. But you'll even get some defensive players that gravitate toward a player like that. We saw it a couple of years ago with Arch Manning in Texas.
Hmm.
They ate it up. Faison, though, I believe he's going to have a very similar thing. He said something about he wanted to go ahead and do it now because there's other players wanting to see what he does.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to bring some of them in. One of them probably Monday.
Yeah. Carson Snead.
And
Local.
it may be Monday by the time we release this, so it may have already happened.
Yeah, may have very good tight end. Top 7 in the country on 3 different sites. I mean, tickled to death with him. And Tim, he may not even be the best tight end we signed this year.
No, we'll go after Harrison.
Kendra Harris,
Kendra Harris.
Carolina, not far from Faison Brandon. Good friends, from what I understand. Brandon may be the number one player in the country, Tim. Kendra Harrison might be number 2.
Well, he's
I
a
mean,
top 10 guy at the tight end position, so that tells you what you need to know right there.
Yeah, I mean, some people, yeah, a top 10 player in the country, and they list him as an athlete, and the reason why, kid can play tight end, he can play defense, and he's also a borderline 5-star
Basketball player.
basketball player. I mean, guy's an athlete.
Yeah, that might be the hardest thing getting him is just getting him out of the state of North Carolina to keep him away from the
Yeah.
Tar Heels basketball program. Not that ours isn't on par or past them.
Mhm.
It's just that getting a Carolina kid away from the sky blue team out there is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree, Bob. 26, that's a huge building block for what I agree, probably a top five-ish class.
Yeah, I mean, fans, it's good to be a Tennessee fan right now. And when it comes to football, I think I mean, it's a trajectory like this right here, Tim. I feel great about the way this team's going. Our current team, I feel the future looks extremely bright. These teams like the Georgias, teams like that, they better enjoy their time right now. Enjoy it on top because we might be the way we're recruiting right now, and our coaches already showed what they can do
They can do more with less.
with 3 and 4-star guys. What are they going to do when they got high 4 and 5-star guys all across the roster, Tim? I mean,
Well, I'm ready to find out.
I feel pumped about where we're at as a team, and but mainly, Tim, as we always say, go Vols.
Go Big Orange, guys.